On the humid evening of August 10th, 2019, a number of rail fans and I have met up at the north end of CSX's Winston yard to wait on the dynamic duo, CSX 1776 and 911. Turns out that this pair had come down the night before on CSX train Q603, Bone Valley traffic from Waycross, Georgia to here at Winston Yard. Once we heard this, we came right out for Q604 the next night, knowing that it should have the pair on it. You may have seen recently that both of these trains got abolished with another train coming in to do their work, but with all the extra traffic that those trains had to handle, the length that those trains were exceeding, it just wasn't working out for CSX, so they just brought the trains back. We got to Winston Yard pretty early in the afternoon, hoping to catch some of the switching operations in daylight, but instead, we just caught a bunch of other trains within the area. Like this one, 0799, a power move coming around the north leg of the Winston Y coming into the yard. And here's another one. Here's CSX train 072510, a local that is coming out of Winston Yard, headed over to Davenport to drop off rock loads, also with a solo ST70AH in the lead. Just as quickly as we spoke, here came another one. Here is CSX train A78210, a local train that now originates out of Winston Yard and runs as far north as Ocala, working mainline industries throughout the day. Now that this train is on his way back home, he has pulled past the Winston Y and is shoving his train into the yard via the south leg of the Winston Y. This train also had a pretty nice treat to it. The power on this train was another ST70AH and a CW40-9. These locomotives are pretty rare on the CSX, so to see one down here is pretty nice in my opinion. The last train to come before the real action began was CSX train QO46. A daily intermodal train out of Tampa's Uceda Yard to Jacksonville Intermodal Ramp in Duval. By the time roughly 10 p.m. rolled around, the big moment arrives, and you can definitely hear it. Format, we jumped straight up to Vitus Junction and waited on Q60410 to round the corner off the Vitus sub, and in about 15 minutes, here he came. 604 was definitely moving pretty slow by this point, that being because 604 was not the only train out here tonight. Coming the other way was CSX train QO4510, southbound intermodal traffic from Jacksonville Duval back to Tampa's Uceda Yard. And once 045 got by, 604 took off. That's when we decided to join the club and take off too. We set up at the old Dade City Depot and waited for the pair of Patriots to round the curve. From there we took off again, and I had a specific shot already planned in my head for Lake Panasoffkee, and I knew that if we went any further than this random dirt road crossing I found in the middle of nowhere, that we probably wouldn't have enough time to set up for it properly. So we stopped in at this little dirt road crossing in the middle of literally nowhere at 10:30 at night and waited. Blasting through downtown Bushnell at 11 o'clock at night, I knew we had at most 10 miles left before Lake Panasoffkee ran across us. Though I must say those 10 miles treated us well, as we were able to get ahead of the train and have about 2 minutes before it met us at Lake Panasoffkee. 2 minutes, though sounding like not much time, is quite enough time to get a camera set up when you're in a rush, especially with these two locomotives barreling down on you. But regardless, we caught the train, and this would be our last shot for the night, and my last train for the summer. With 604 running out of Winston Yard headed up to Waycross, Georgia, this train consists of mostly loaded phosphate hoppers and for the most part empty mixed freight traffic. Its counterpart, Q603, would be down this same line in about 2 hours, but that would be about 2 in the morning, and after chasing this pair for about 2 hours on their own, we had had enough. Went tonight's novelty and my last train for the summer of 2019. And it's been a great summer, and I'm glad to say that this was my last train. So, in Lake Panasoffkee, this is Kotabeaner, and I'll see you next time on the Sunshine State Rails.